Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is now just 118 days away from its official release by writer and director J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, as well as creator George Lucas. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, what's really exciting about this film is that we do know that this movie is going to include and introduce many different revelations that will lead to saga-wide implications. That's really going to change how we view the entire Star Wars franchise, which, like I've always expressed before in the past, is a very big risk for Disney and Lucasfilm and exactly how they are going to approach this movie to end the Skywalker saga forever. Now, on top of all of this, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the big plans by Disney, Lucasfilm, JJ, and George, this is where things begin to get very intense for the character of Rey. Now, specifically, it's described that during the rewrites of the film for the months of November and December of 2018, just late last year, is when George Lucas was significantly involved with the rewriting process of the movie. It's explained that during these rewrites, George Lucas drastically changed the character of Rey with J.J. Abrams, and that a big part of that change had to do with adding in a revelation of Rey's real identity and how the third act is set to reveal Rey's real name. It's described that Rey's identity reveal will have a massive impact on the character of Kenobi, Luke, and even Palpatine, and that the revelation of all of this was inspired by an abandoned idea for Star Wars Legends that George Lucas rejected that was based in the Old Republic era. It's described that originally there was a character much like Rey for a book series back in 2001 that was rejected that involved a very similar way to how Rey's identity would be unveiled in the film. Additionally, it's explained that the reveal of her identity will change certain parts of Star Wars lore forever, and how fans will view the Force and how they will change drastically, as well as how they perceive the characters of Obi-Wan, Luke, and Kenobi. It's actually said that George spent a total of 1 month writing in the revelation for Rey's identity reveal in order to make it an authentic revelation that is said to top the I am your father moment, and that George was the one to set this with J.J. Abrams. So I think that the most the most big thing about Episode 9 is the fact that they really are trying to give us a different side of Star Wars, right? We do know that J.J. Abrams is very ambitious, he's very goal-driven, and he's trying to do something amazing for the character of Rey, with, of course, George Lucas. The fact that Rey's identity reveal will change how we view Obi-Wan Kenobi, Luke, and Palpatine, I think is a big thing. I think that there's more to the story than what's already been told in The Last Jedi, obviously. Even J.J. confirmed this, that there's a lot more to Rey's backstory, as well as Rey's parentage, that will be explained in Episode 9 in greater depth, and that a lot of fans are really going to enjoy it. And I think that, the fact that JJ is trying to approach it in that sense, as well as George Lucas, this really does speak a lot of volumes here. Now, the fact that this is all based, this revelation of Rey's real identity is based off of an old idea, an abandoned concept from Star Wars Legends back in 2001, was, of course, a actual revelation based in the Old Republic era for a very similar character to Rey. So they're using that older idea back in 2001 in order to create this part of the story in Episode 9. Once again, they're not only tapping into Star Wars Legends to use as inspirational source material, but they're also using abandoned concepts, abandoned ideas that never got to see the light of day. And I think that's a very inspiring thing to somewhat bring things back to life in its own way. So the other thing is the fact that, how Rey's identity reveal is actually said to change how we view Obi-Wan, Luke, and Palpatine. And I think the fact that it's going in that direction, there is a great possibility that Rey could very well have the DNA makeup, perhaps, of all those characters. That's a big possibility. It could be something as simple as that, where she has the DNA of all the fan-favorite characters. It would make sense in a way, because we have noticed that she uses similar lightsaber moves to Palpatine in The Force Awakens. She uses the Jedi mind trick, and she even does a couple of other moves that mimic other characters. So that would be a big possibility, and we also saw something very similar just like that in Star Wars Legends as well when it came to inserting DNA into a specific character. So I wouldn't be too surprised, the fact that this identity reveal will have a big change not just to those characters, but of course how we view certain pieces of Star Wars lore entirely. And that, to me, I think is a big thing because Disney and Lucasfilm, like I said yesterday, big day. We got the official announcement that Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series is coming to Disney Plus in 2021. They're going to be filming in 2020, just next year. And it's going to be apparently 6 episodes long, takes place 8 years after Revenge of the Sith, and I couldn't be happier. So I think that there's something definitely going on there as to why they would have a Kenobi TV series to tie it in with how Rey is going to change those characters per se. So on top of all of this, I would really love to hear what you guys have to say about this revelation that's actually planned and how George Lucas is approaching it in a sense to make it bigger than the I am your father moment. I'm not quite sure if that's possible, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.